Hey guys, if you don't already know, my name's Haley, and in this video, I'm going to be giving you a simple tutorial of how you can make guitar videos for Instagram. So basically a video in which you are playing guitar that you post on Instagram. Really quick, shout out to my cat. Look at him. He's either like modeling or he's just super bored with my video already. So anyways, I hope that your quarantines have been going well so far. It really is like if you're wanting to post more on Instagram, this is such a good time to do it because I think everybody is needing a little bit of extra brightening in their day and a little bit more inspiration for creativity. And I think that making video snippets for Instagram is a super cool way to do that. During my quarantine so far, I've been taking lots of walks, hanging out with fam. I also tried to cut my own hair, which was a kind of dumb idea. I didn't really do it that great, but you know what? We're just gonna go with it. So if any of this does make you nervous at all, just know that you're not alone. I think most people get kind of nervous to like put their art out there, especially when there is a video on their face. So that's something that just know you're not alone there. And I think the other thing to remember is that you do not have to be the best guitarist in order to post something out there. I don't think anybody thinks that they're the best guitarist because the second they do, there's someone better that comes in. So just focus on like what you have creatively that you can use to inspire someone, or something that's funny, or something interesting, or maybe just something that like people can follow along with your journey. I know for me, I'm just super drawn to anything that's really real, or people that are posting things that are very relatable, and I feel like I can really see where they are on their journey, and I love watching that. So don't worry about everything being too perfect because otherwise these videos are going to take you forever. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into how you can make a video for Instagram. So the first way, and how I started out, is literally just propping up your phone and making a video. I think that this is totally acceptable, and a lot of times the sound isn't really like that bad. It's not gonna be like this super professional sound, but if you're doing a lick or something, I think that the like very raw, organic kind of sound is actually really awesome. So in that case, yeah, you could prop it up on some like books, or like use a plant or something like that to prop it up. Do remember that if you record this way with like it facing this way from your phone, you are going to get a lot better of a picture from it. But if you record this way, it will be probably less good sound quality, but it is going to ensure that you don't cut off your head or your limbs as you are playing. If you want to step it up a little bit from that, you can also use like something like this, like a little mini tripod, which I will link all these things down below. That just saves some time getting things to make your little prop. And then you could also get an external mic. I have a Movo mic, which I used a lot for filming before, which is really nice because it's a shotgun mic that just plugs into your phone, and you can basically just record straight on. That being said, make sure that it does have like a stand or connect, because the one I have, it doesn't come with like this stand that like attaches it, so it's just kind of floating around, so think about that. Last thing, if you were trying to play along to a song, I would definitely recommend checking your levels after you do your first video. So like if you were playing a song on the speakers and then also like playing through your amp and you were just recording that all on your phone, you'll probably need to like manually adjust the levels, like maybe turn down your amp or turn up the audio so you can make sure that you can kind of hear that song in the background. Make sure that you do check those levels though, so you can make sure that you can still hear the song in the background, but it's not overpowering your playing, and you can actually hear your guitar part as well. Okay, so let's jump into how you would go about recording through an audio interface and having more of a like actual separate audio track. And this is how I've started making pretty much all of my videos, because I really like the production side and I really like doing this. So I'm gonna show you from start to finish how I would go about making one of my videos for Instagram, but obviously however you wanna do it. Hi, Lewis. However you want to do it is amazing. And remember, it's all about creating art, and there's no right or wrong way of doing it. Okay, so basically what I've done here is I have my HX stomp going into this interface. This will be really important if you're wanting to record in your computer, and if you already know stuff about recording, then you can just ignore this section. But if I didn't have something like an amp modeler, like an HX Stomp, then what I would do is plug my mic cord in here and I would mic my amp. And I would definitely look up how you can mic your specific model of amp best and see like kind of where exactly that placement should be. So into my Focusrite, my Scarlett, and then basically I have that running right into my computer. So it's actually really, really simple. I am using Logic here, but if you are using, I'm gonna open a new one. If you're using something like GarageBand and you're not quite ready to upgrade to something like Logic or Pro Tools or Ableton, that works great. You just won't have quite as many like adding in things like EQ or reverb type options. So after I have this all set up, I'm going to switch to more my idea and the tone and everything. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is get a guitar, and basically I'm just going to plug it in. Right now I have my speakers plugged into my interface so you can hear it. Ooh, a lot of reverb here. And I'm just gonna noodle around until I find something fun and creative that I like. Okay, so at this point I have pretty much gotten my idea down and then my tone just with my pedals. Like right now I have on my Blue Sky Reverb. I could also add some effects and tone stuff after I've recorded it in there, and I probably will tweak with that after, but I do like to have the general sound so I can kind of feel the idea and have the tone that I really like. So I'm just kind of doing a kind of cleaner reverby type tone for this idea that I have. There's my basic idea. If I was doing this in real life, I'd probably try to get that down a little bit better. So that is basically my idea. So let's talk about how exactly that you will want to film this so you can have like good lighting and everything. So the first thing that you want to think about is your lighting. That's going to be the most important. So you see like right now, if I was to film it, there's this like bright light behind my head, look like an angel, but it's very like shadowy. You probably won't be able to see my guitar and stuff as much, as opposed to if you have the window facing towards you, it gets like a nice like brighter kind of light and stuff for this. So that is the first thing. Also, I think that having either a clean or interesting background is good, but not having too much background. You can see how if I was sitting really far back here playing my little guitar part here, it's really hard to kind of see what I'm doing or really even see me. So in photography, the thirds rule I think is really helpful in this, which is like a third of your screen should be at least the subject. So I would say like a third or a half should be you of your screens. So you can see how when you are closer to the screen, it does feel a bit more engaging because you can actually see the person and see like what they're doing on guitar. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is for this, I am going to press record on my computer, and then I'm going to press record on my phone, and I'm gonna do this vertically since it is for Instagram. I prefer to use like my phone still than a camera because I'm gonna automatically have that vertical facing video, so it's gonna be really easy then to later put into Instagram. So here I go, I'm gonna go ahead and film my video. Okay, so I just finished recording my video. Things to note, I usually always play along to a metronome. So like you can see that with my phone recording, like you can hear it just playing through the speakers, because that's what I basically plug my amp into, or it'd be like your amp. And you can hear that click in there, and that's a really nice option because later if you go back and want to add like a bass part or drums, you can have that click there and you'll be playing to tempo, so you have that option then to make a whole project around it, or you can just keep the guitar solo. So also it's just nice because it helps keep you on time. And then later when I go to export that, I can just take my clicky sound out there. Another thing to note is for that one, I did do a few takes because I didn't totally have my idea, and sometimes you also might just mess things up. So this is like the biggest frustration that I hear people have is like, I feel like I do this a million times, and I swear there is something about cameras that the second they are on you, no matter how many times you do a lick perfect, then once the camera's on you, your fingers just don't work the same. So just really give yourself a lot of forgiveness here. And if you go into it expecting like, I'm not gonna get this perfect, then it's gonna make you feel a lot better when you don't get it perfect. Okay, so at this point I have my video and audio both recorded separately. So last step is I'm going to edit my audio a little bit and then sync up the video and audio. Okay, so at this point, the track sounds pretty much how I want it to my sound. Obviously, this is all just a matter of taste, so I'm gonna go ahead and bounce that track, and then I'm going to match it to the video that I took. So after that, I'm going to put it in iMovie or Final Cut Pro. I'm gonna use Final Cut Pro, but really any video editing software like Premiere or whatever is perfect. All right, so really quick, just wanted to show you what I did. Also, I had to use these screenshots because for some reason my export for my screen share was not working. But basically what I did was I got the clip that I wanted, and then I basically just applied EQ to it, which I basically listened through it, and then I just pulled down parts after lifting them up really high and hearing what I didn't like. I just kind of dropped those parts I didn't like and then just boosted the parts that sounded good. That's really all EQing is. And for guitar, I typically stick to the mid and high end parts of it because that's just kind of what sounds best with guitar. So I did that. And then next thing that I did is I did a little bit of compression, not too much. And then I added a little extra reverb because it's me, and so I wanted a little extra on there. And then all I did after that was export my clip. So pretty easy. So then after my audio was good to go, all I did was I sent my video clip from my phone. I just emailed or airdropped it to my computer and dragged it into Final Cut Pro, but you can use Premiere or iMovie, whatever you like to use. It's pretty simple, so really any video editing program will work. And then I put my my audio in there, and what I did first is I matched it up with both of the audios loud. Like you can see the two sound waves there. It makes it kind of nice because you can easily start to kind of recognize where the sound waves match up if you're playing through speakers or something on your iPhone clip. So after that, I matched those up, and then I just pulled down the audio of my iPhone clip so I could only hear the audio that I recorded through Logic. So after that, you could also trim that a little bit if you need to, and then I exported it out. You could do color correction if you prefer to do that in Final Cut. I like to use VSCO, and I'll show you that in a second. But yeah, that's my process. Also, thank you guys for being patient with these screenshots because I tried forever to get my screen recordings to work and they kept being super blurry. I was so annoyed. So anyways, here is the next part. So at this point, now that I've matched my audio to my video, I'm just going to send it to my phone. And for me personally, I'm gonna take one last step and do a little bit of color correction kind of stuff. But if you wanted from here, you could just go ahead and post it if that's more your style. So I'm going to go ahead and open up VSCO, and I'm going to do a little bit of color editing. There's a lot of different video editing apps, and you can also use the video editing tools in Instagram if you want to do that. Since I do a lot of Instagram stuff, went ahead and paid, I think it is like $10 or $20 or I don't know, something like that a year for VSCO video editing, because that's not one of their free features, unfortunately. But I use this a lot for different video type stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and open this up, grab my video, and I am just going to edit some of the color stuff. One of the things that I like to look for is just making sure that the crop of it is like about 2/3 of, or like a third kind of. That's like a thing in photography is the thirds rule, is kind of dividing up visually your space into thirds. So sometimes I'll like crop things down, and then I also will use a filter a lot. I think the one I use a lot is A1, A6. I like the ease on VSCO if you use that a lot, and just kind of make it how you like it. Again, this is totally like if you want to do this step, but I like to do this. So anyways, I'm happy with this, so I'm going to go ahead and save it. And I also, another thing that you might look for is any parts of the screen that are too bright or too dark. Sometimes you can color correct those by making something less shadows or more shadows, or just brighten things up a little bit. So those are probably the biggest tools I would recommend as far as color correcting, but really the sky's the limit. If you want to do a lot of this, that's great. If you don't want to do any, that's also great too. So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and save it, and then my last step is just gonna be posting to Instagram. Okay, so after that, we are just going to post our video, the simplest step, and make sure that you tag any gear companies from any gear that you used, or also any like songs. If you're like covering a song, make sure you tag that artist. If you want to learn more about how to grow a community on Instagram, and especially get different gigs in music and learn how to do loop videos and more color correction type stuff, definitely check out my course. It's called Instagram Toolkit for Musicians. I've seriously had so much fun with this course. One of the big parts of it is an Instagram assessment where you send me your Instagram handle, and then I'll look over and give you any of my tips. I absolutely love doing that, and it's really been cool seeing a lot of cool types of things that people have been posting and growing their Instagrams after. So as always, I would love to hear your thoughts below. Any other video suggestions, I would love to hear them, and thank you so much for watching.